CAIA Level 2 Edge Designations 2022 Prep Program. First and foremost, let me just introduce myself as your lecturer for the program. My name is Russell, surname is Jude, and am I qualified? In other words, what am I qualified to come and teach you guys? Well, I do have the CAIA charter. What a wonderful charter it is, and you guys are just about there, one more level to go. In addition, I've got a couple other designations as well. And everyone says, well, why did you go and do all these other designations, CFA, FRM, all of those, etc.? Is because we teach that. Edge designations teaches all the various designations, and we just kind of like figured, being the head of the program, that it would be a little bit poor looking if I didn't achieve the designations myself. So that's why we get all the designations. Okay, so yes, definitely we're in a position to help you with CAIA Level 2. Okay, what I want to do as part of this, what we call our introduction video, is I want to break it down into two parts. The first part, I want to talk a lot about CAIA itself, CAIA Association, the CAIA exam, what you can expect for the CAIA Level 2 exam, etc., etc. And the second part, what I hope to achieve as part of this video, is to tell you what edge designations as a prep provider can do for you. Okay, now we start off over here, and let's start off with looking at CAIA. So CAIA Level 2, you guys have all come through CAIA Level 1. Well, not all of you, a lot of there are quite a few of you that have entered the CAIA Level 2 program via what we call, it used to be called, they are changing the name a little, but the CFA guys coming through from CFA Level 3 on the stackable credentials program. Okay, so you guys would not have had access to CAIA Level 1. By the way, we always offer those guys that are coming on board just from the CFA program and have not had to do CAIA Level 1. We always offer you access to our Level 1 material as well if you wish, so you can go back and look at some of the material that perhaps you haven't covered, not coming through CAIA Level 1. Okay, but coming to CAIA Level 2, for the most part, most of the guys have already covered CAIA Level 1, are fairly familiar with the system. So let's jump straight in over here and let's start to talk a little bit about the program. Okay, first of all, how long do you need to study for? We talk about anywhere between 200 to 250 hours. We give a nice range to that. Okay, and the reason is, of course, depending on your level of experience, your level of expertise, your level of knowledge, etc., and of course how much time you spent in CAIA Level 1 will all depend on the amount of time, of course, that's required for CAIA Level 2. Okay, the exam itself is a 4-hour exam. Okay, now we start to see a bit of difference between CAIA Level 1 and CAIA Level 2. CAIA Level 1 only had multiple choice questions. CAIA Level 2 breaks the two exams down. The first exam is multiple choice questions, same story, 2 hours. Okay, we do a little bit of maths over here, guys, just very briefly. 2 hours, again, same story. It's 120 minutes, and remember, for 100 multiple choice questions, maths is simple, 72 seconds per multiple choice question, which is quick. But you guys are used to that coming out of CAIA Level 1 for the most part. And that's a 2-hour paper. And remember, the whole of CAIA were the very first ones, but now all the other designations as well. Of course, guys, it's a computer-based exam. Okay, so yeah, you will be writing this all on a computer. Okay, that's the very first section. You then take a 30-minute break. You then come for section number 2, which we call constructed response. Constructed response, a lot of guys like to call it the essay paper. It's nothing like an essay. Please don't get misled by that, okay? But it is a constructed response, and that word just means that you need to construct responses to the specific questions that you are asked. But it's not essays, it's not long stuff, it's not flowery English that you need to write. There's nothing to do with grammar. You're not penalized for grammar. You're not penalized for spelling errors. Fantastic. It's really just a constructed response to a question that's being asked, but it's not MCQs. Okay, as you saw in section 1, this is section 2. This is what we call the constructed response paper. It's also a 2-hour paper. Okay, the difference over here, and very important to remember, between section number 1 and section number 2. Section number 1 being the MCQs, they are both 2-hour papers. Okay, 2-hour papers. Okay, but the MCQ paper counts 70% of your mark, whereas the second paper, which is also a 2-hour paper, which is the constructed response paper, counts 30% of your mark. Of course, that breaks down the total 100%. So what's interesting, though, is that you write both papers for 2 hours, but the mark allocations are different. Okay. Are you under time pressure for paper 1, which is the MCQs? I'm going to give 2 ticks there. That's how much time pressure you're on. You've really got to work quickly there. But you guys are used to that, by the way, for CAIA level 1. Time is 72 seconds is quick. Okay. What about section 2, constructed response? Are you under time pressure in that particular paper? Not at all. Okay, so what's nice about CAIA as opposed to CFA level 3, when the guys write constructed response, okay, is constructed response in CFA level 3, you're under extreme time pressure. In CAIA level 2, constructed response, very little time pressure. And CAIA have made a very specific dispensation, and what they say is that since people need to write this on a computer and you need to type out your answers, okay, then we're going to give you a bit of a dispensation, a little bit of room for those that don't type so quickly, to plan your answers out. The keyboard you may not be used to, the computer you may not be used to. So we give a lot of room, says CAIA, for that, and you're not under time pressure at all. CFA don't give you the same dispensation. Okay, but that's your exam. Now let's have a look at your exam window for 2022. It goes from 14th of March through to the 25th of March. Remember, guys, there is also, okay, September item. We don't yet have those dates available. CAIA will release those in due course, I am sure. Okay, let's have a quick look at the level 2 topics, and when I talk about these, I also want to have a quick look and discuss, particularly for those that either were not able to write CAIA level 2 in 2021, may not have passed the exam, or for whatever reason, okay, but would be interested in seeing what are the differences between CAIA level 2 in 2021 and CAIA level 2 in 2022. We'll discuss that in great detail as well. But what I do want to show you, okay, remember we mentioned a little bit earlier that the very first exam, I'm going to call it exam number 1, is MCQs. There we go. Exam number 2 is constructed response. MCQs, remember, is 70% of the mark. Constructed response is 30%, but remember, both of them are 2-hour papers. Okay. What do we know about them? Well, we know that there's 9 topics in CAIA level 2. Let's have a look at those topics very briefly. Okay. Topic number 1 is called emerging topics. It used to be called, if memory serves, current and integrated topics. Now it's called emerging topics. So there's a little bit of a change in what it's called. That's the only change predominantly, guys, in CAIA level 2. It's a change in what they're calling it, and a little bit of a change in the syllabus for that particular one. We'll look at that in a second. Okay, that was emerging topics. It used to be called current and integrated topics. And what's interesting as well, which has made the prep providers, I hope the CAIA guys are listening to this, has made the prep providers' lives a little bit difficult, okay, is it used to be, for those that are familiar, it used to be right on the back end. Emerging topics, or what they used to call current and integrated topics, used to be right on the back end. It used to be topic 9. Now they brought it right to the beginning in 2022. Okay, and that just messes up with our numbering system a little bit. So, well, we get on with it, don't we? Okay. So that is one of the changes. There's also ethics, regulation, and ESG. No change there. You've got models, institutional asset owners and investment policies, risk and risk management, which is now topic number 5. 6 is methods for alternative investing. 7 is accessing alternative investments. 8 is due diligence and selecting managers. And 9 is volatility and complex strategies. Everything has been moved up by one topic. So that don't become confused by that at all. Just know that that is the big difference between one of the big differences that have come in year-on-year changes. Now, what do we see? Anything from topic 3 onwards is definitely in the MCQ section. Okay, so those 7 topics from topic 3 all the way to 9 is in the MCQ section. Okay, the first 2 topics, emerging topics and ESG, ethics, regulation, ESG, are not at all in MCQ, but are definitely in constructive response. Okay, so that is, and that's consistent with what we saw in the past. What we also see over here, guys, okay, also consistent with how it was in the past, you are going to get 3 questions in the constructed response section. Okay, you're going to get 3 questions. Question number 1 for 10% is going to come from emerging topics. Question number 2, okay, is also worth 10%, is coming from ethics, regulation, and ESG. Question number 3, where's that from? Well, that's from any of these. Wow. Okay. We always call that a little bit of the wild card. Never sure where it's going to come from. It could come from anywhere from topic 3 to topic 9. And that's worth your other 10%. That is your total 30% weighting, which we can see over there for constructed response. So it's not so easy to study for constructed response. We know where 2 of the questions will come from. We don't know where the 3rd will come from. When we look back at the MCQ section, we can see that, you can see over there, that's your 70%, guys. There's 8 to 12%. If you average 8 to 12%, you would get 10%. It's the average of the 8 and the 12. There are your 7 topics. There's your 70%. Nice and easy to see. And we are guaranteed no MCQs for topic 1, emerging topics, and topic 2, ethics, regulation, and ESG. That's a bit of a breakdown then, guys, of the topic weights. We move on a little bit over here. Let's have a look at the various textbooks, okay, and books that you need to use. Emerging topics, which is now topic number 1, okay. These are specific CAIA readings which they make available to us, and you can make use of those. Topics 2, which is ethics, regulation, and ESG, all the way through to topic 9, volatility and complex strategies. Okay, CAIA have introduced a brand new system where they're going to be updating their notes on an annual basis. Okay, small change, they say up to about 10% of the syllabus changes on an annual basis, done by LII. Okay, so you can, and it's electronic. The version that we have is an electronic version. It's a fantastic version, really lovely, and good work, and all props to the authors. Fantastic guys, experienced, wonderful people that have written the LII textbook for 2022. It's a great textbook, and that covers, guys, topics 2 through 9. We will discuss, guys, do you need to use the textbook or don't you need to use the textbook? We will discuss that in a second. Okay, but as part of that discussion, don't minimize the textbook at all. It's a fantastic piece of work. Okay. We then look over here, guys, at the various information that CAIA does provide to us. So you've got your readings, and that covers the emerging topics. We've got the LII textbook, which, please remember, guys, has been updated for 2022 in electronic version. Okay, and then they also give us the candidate handbook, the workbook, and the study guide, all for level 2. Most fantastic, valuable resources. Please make use of those. They all just add value to the overall process. Okay, I've given you a little bit over here, guys, and I'm not going to spend time as part of this session guidance on how to answer constructed response. Just we run a specific almost 2-hour Zoom session closer to the time on how to answer these particular questions, okay, which we will do, of course, closer to the March 2022 exam. Just to give you a little bit of guidance, there's 3 questions. I've spoken about those earlier. You need to type that into the computer. Okay, there's no need for full sentences, grammar, or spelling. No need for the Queen's English. Okay, and you can answer, as long as you answer the question, you are fine. And they're not checking your grammar, spelling, punctuation, etc. And remember, no time pressure here, so that should not be a concern to you. But as I say, guys, closer to the time, okay, we will run a specific Zoom session dealing with constructed response, how to answer the questions, etc., etc. That's a very valuable 30% that, of course, we want you to get. Okay. Let's look at some other information, okay, in terms of the what is required. Okay, calculator policy, we recommend the Texas Instruments, the BA2 Plus or the Professional, but I'm talking to the converted because most of you guys are either coming from CFA or CAIA Level 1 and you know that calculator policy very well. Okay, I'm going to come to Edge's approach to work in a second. We'll do that in a second, but before we get to that, equations, yes, I often get the question, do they need to be learned? They do, okay. A bit of comfort is that less than 30% of the questions are calculation based. That may be comfort to some, that may be distress to others. Some of you guys might prefer calculations. Okay. CAIA provide an online exam, a very valuable resource again, but that you will be doing closer to the time of the exam. Okay. MCQs, as you know, guys, from the CAIA Level 1, it's either ABCs or A, B, C, and D. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4 answers. That's part of the MCQs. We know also about CAIA. They tell us, guys, that if you get 70%, you are guaranteed a pass. The actual pass may be lower, but 70% will guarantee you a pass. And unlike CAIA Level 1, guys, okay, CAIA Level 2, you wait a full 6 weeks after the exam window closes for results. CAIA Level 1, I'm sure you're used to, you waited 3 weeks. So if we look at the exam window closes on the 25th of March. You'll wait 6 weeks after that, and then you will get your results. And I can tell you something with CAIA, guys, they are very good with their timing. If they say 6 weeks, okay, it will never be longer than that. And like for the CAIA Level 1 guys, when they say 3 weeks, it's 3 weeks to the day. Okay. In terms of once you are done, I'm just going to give you a little look over here. How do you become a CAIA charter holder? Well, you pass both levels of the CAIA exams. Okay. Yes, you need to hold a bachelor's or equivalent degree. Okay. You need to abide by the candidate and member agreement. You give your references and you pay your CAIA membership fee. Okay. Good news, I think it's the lowest fee of all the designations, so it doesn't kill you too much, the annual membership fee for CAIA, and very, very worthwhile. Okay. I want to go back to very briefly look over here. Edges. We've now spoken quite a lot, to a large extent, about CAIA. Enough about them. We're going to talk about us now. Okay. Edge designations as a prep provider. What can we do for you? So we start off over here, and I want to just very briefly talk about our approach to work. Our approach to work talks about the 4 C's. Those that are not familiar with us may not be familiar with us. Let's talk about those very briefly. Okay. The very first C, okay, that we like to talk about is consistency. And that consistency is, in terms of your approach to work, a consistent approach to work, an everyday approach to work. It's a consistent approach. Some may like to hear that, some may not. Okay. And why we talk about consistency in terms of the work is, and I always tell people, if you're having perhaps a terrible, horrible, meaningless day, which sometimes we do, okay, then I always say, well, putting 5 minutes worth of work, and people say to me, you mad, what is 5 minutes worth of reading ethics or doing a quick question on models going to change anything? And I say it's the consistency. You're in the program. Okay, and if you stay in the program, then tomorrow when you're having a marvelous, fantastic, exceptional, meaningful day, okay, you're still in the program. Whereas if you didn't work the day before, the next day when you're feeling a bit better, you think, okay, and it does often takes a day or two to get back in, and you've missed a couple of days. And the great success to CAIA is everyday work. The volume of the work is immense. Okay, so one has to work not all day, sorry, I shouldn't say that, but one has to work every day, of course, at times that are best suited to each individual. But the consistency is going to be the key to your success. I don't need to talk to you guys much about the second C, which is commitment, other than for me to try and work out how to spell it. Good news is we're not penalized for spelling, but I think that's the spelling. And of course, you guys being in CAIA level 2 are fully committed to the program. Third C is not a great one, is what we call concentration. I don't love this one, okay? But I had to find a C to fit into my 4 C's, okay? But the real word I'm looking for here is deep learning, focus. In other words, when you get down to your work, there's that concentration, there's that deep focus in the work. I far rather prefer guys to work for a good, solid, concentrated, focused hour than to do 4 hours and not really be that into it. Okay, a little bit tired, not really into it, not really sure what we're doing, etc., etc. That's what Steve Jobs used to talk about in terms of deep learning. Okay, so a similar concept too. They're not exactly the same concept, but a similar concept. You know, when you work properly, work deeply, work focusedly. Okay. And my last C, guys, is calm. Keep calm. Keep relaxed, mentally, physically, etc. Okay, it's just CAIA, guys. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, it's not life or death dependent. Okay, but your health is, your well-being is. And I always say to guys, if you're an exerciser, keep exercising. If you eat well, keep on eating well. If you don't, well, okay, well, that's up to you. It may not be a good time to start, but don't lose yourself in the program necessarily in terms of who you are. If you go to movies once a week with friends, keep going. Okay, if you have a drink with your friends every now and then, you know, keep up what you're doing, keep healthy, keep physically, psychologically, mentally healthy, and you will be a great success. Okay, we have had other additions to the C's which I don't love. People say let's put C in for crying, and I say no, that conflicts with my 4th C of keeping calm, so no, we won't have any of that. Okay, you can add in a C which a lot of people like, which is the C for chocolates. If that does it for you, you go right ahead, each to their own, fantastic, etc. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to have a brief look, okay, and see, okay, what edge can add to the program. Okay, what I want to do over here on the bottom of this particular page, okay, is I'm going to have a quick run through of what our products bring to the table. Okay, our first 2 options, I'm going to put down option 1, okay, followed by option 2, and I'll include option 3 in there as well. Okay, option 1 gives you a complete set of notes. Option 2 gives you a complete set of notes. Now, when we talk about these notes, what are they? These notes, okay, are taken, of course, from the LII textbook 2022. They are 2022 compliant, of course. Okay. We go through each and every single learning objective. Nothing is missed. Okay. And the reason I know nothing is missed is because I reprint each and every single learning objective, and I make sure that we teach you those. Okay. And there is material on each and every single one. Now, the question then is asked, do you need the LII textbook? Well, that's up to you. The LII textbook is a fantastic, fantastic resource. Okay, the reason people don't make as much use of it is because it's time consuming. Okay, so if time is a pressure, you'll use our notes. Are they sufficient to get you through without using the LII textbook? I would have to answer yes. Okay, and many of our students have attested to me that that's all that they did use and found it very successful. So empirically it does work. Okay, those are notes. Okay, those are our edge notes. A brief word on the edge notes over here, guys. What format are they in? Everybody wants to know. They are in PDF format. Okay, as are, I'll put this down over here, as are our revision notes. They're also, everything that we do is in PDF format. And the reason we do that is for the ease of use of the student. Okay, you can print it as much as you like. Okay, you can download it onto your machines. Of course, my fellow prep providers think I'm a fool. I may well be. Okay, they say you can't trust the students. And how do you let your stuff just get around like that? And I say, well, I trust the students. I'm not a complete fool, okay? We do have some security and protections in place, but generally I'm not going to restrict you on your printing. I know some providers only allow you to print 1 or 2 pages at a time. We're not doing that kind of stuff, guys. I'm going to trust you guys, and of course, I'm appealing to your integrity and to your ethical behavior not to hand these PDFs out to all your friends, etc. This is our IP. I appeal to you to respect that. And then on our side, what we do for you is we make it easy for you to use. Okay, so it's all in PDF format. Then we look at what else do we give you? Okay, well, we're going to give you a complete set of questions. Okay, there are your questions. Okay. In terms of these questions, guys, we offer them to you in 2 formats. The first format is exactly the same as your notes come in PDF format. Okay, and you can print, etc. The other format is a QBank format, and the reason I like the QBank format is obviously it's much more intuitive. It can test you, it can quiz you, it can tell you your strengths and your weaknesses, etc., etc. Okay, and remember, of course, guys, you will be writing your final paper computer-based as well, so it is quite good to get used to that form of testing. So please make use of the QBank as well. Remember that it's important just to be upfront and honest with everybody that they're the same questions, of course, just in different formats. Okay. We also give you a formula sheet, of course. Okay, that's over there. Okay. And what most people enjoy most are the videos. Okay, what are the videos? The videos, okay, which you're going to get down here as well in option 3. We'll talk about the differences in a second. Of course, option 3 is just revision videos, okay, which is about 16 hours of video. But all of the videos cover, in terms of option 1 and option 2, cover each and every learning objective from top to bottom. Okay, we go through the entire set of notes with you in video format, so please be ready for an extensive process of video watching. Again, guys, what format are all of our videos in? Again, we try to make it as easy and useful as possible, guys, and the format will be a YouTube format for you. Okay, what then, guys, is the difference between option 1 and option 2? Option 1 has with it a zoom option. Okay, now what is that? And of course, option 2 does not. So you won't buy option 1 and option 2 ever. You'll pick one that suits you best, and you'll go with that option. Okay, when we talk about which one should you go for, what is this edition of the Zoom session? The Zoom session is a session that belongs to you guys. Okay, we're going to meet, I think, a total of 6 or 7 times throughout the program. Okay, I'll take you through the timetable in a second. We'll meet 6 or 7 times. We meet on Zoom for approximately 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours. I know people sometimes suffer a little from Zoom fatigue, so we normally go about an hour and a half roundabout there. Okay, important to note, guys, those Zoom sessions belong to you. You handle those sessions. You tell me what you want to do in those sessions. You ask your questions in those sessions. In addition, what I do in those sessions is sometimes I go through some more of the difficult topics in those sessions. Okay, in addition, we do some nice exam type questions to get you ready and some practice there as well. So that is the difference between option 1 and option 2. Okay, so as I say, guys, you won't pick both, you'll pick one. Okay, option 3 is a revision program. What do you get in option 3? You get revision notes, videos attached to all of those. You get your formula sheet, and you get 3 full exams. When I talk about 3 full exams, okay, there'll be 3 MCQs, which is the first part, and then 3 constructed response questions, which is the second part. So yes, people will often buy option 1 and option 3. Option 3 they tend to pick up closer towards exam time, and often people then also pick option 2 and option 3. Those 2 packages go together. Okay. what else do we have? What else is on the menu? We also offer as separate offerings, okay? If you look on our website, okay, I'll give you the details of that at the end of this particular program. A QBank only. We also offer, okay, a notes only package. In other words, you can just buy the Edge notes if that is what you are looking for. And also we have an exams only offering as well over there. Okay, and all that, let me just give it to you now, quick now that I remember. It's all on our website, www.edge, all one word, edgedesignations.com, all one word. Okay, and everything's available for you there on our website. And of course, everything, guys, is important to remember is 2022 compliant. Okay, what I want to have a quick look at now is I want to have a quick look at the syllabus. I'll take you through that very briefly to show you where the changes are. There are not many changes. There's no need to panic, guys, from CAIA Level 2 2021 to 2022. Okay, if you have a look over here, having said that, then yes, of course, the very first reading is a change. Okay, and what is the change on the very first reading over here? Okay, is reading number 1 is, I'm sure you guys are familiar with DEFI, okay, decentralized finance. Okay, that's the very first reading on emerging topics, which has changed from previous. The previous reading has now been removed. Okay, all the other 7 readings are exactly the same. Okay, those guys, I don't know if you remember all the different curves that we used to deal with, okay, in the terms of the different asset management approaches and all of that, and in terms of rebalancing, and that's now gone, replaced by reading 1.1. Okay, other than that, guys, as you can see over here, topic 2, ethics, regulation, ESG, same. Models, the same. Topic 3, topic 4, institutional asset owners and investment policies, same old, same old. Okay, topic 5, risk and risk management. 6, methods for alternative investing, same. Topic 7, accessing alternative investments. 8, due diligence and selecting managers. And topic 9, volatility and complex strategies. Okay, those are all the same. Okay, last little bit that I wanted to, so you can see, guys, as you go through, there's not a whole lot of change from CAIA Level 2 2021 to the 2022 syllabus, etc. Okay. The last little thing I want to just show you is the timetable. And of course, the timetable is much more relevant for those that are doing the Zoom options. Okay. And if you have a look over here, I'll just take you down. Okay. If you have a look over here in terms of the various options that are available, let's have a look at the very first one. So we start off on the 17th of October. Okay. That'll be the very first live Zoom session. Okay. What are we going to cover in that Zoom session? Topic 1 and topic 2. What are topic 1 and topic 2? Emerging markets, ethics, regulation, ESG. Remember what I said a bit earlier, that when you come to those Zoom sessions, we expect that you've covered a fair whack of the work already. In other words, to get the most amount of benefit from the particular Zoom session. Okay, so you can see dates to be completed by both of those. 17th of October. When we meet on the Sunday, you've covered those sections already to attend the Zoom sessions. How do you cover them? Well, remember, part of option 1 and option 2, we give you notes, videos, questions, etc. So you cover all of that coming in. You come to the Zoom session then on the 17th of October, and we go through anything that you would like to go through. We go through some difficult topics as well, and we also look at perhaps some exam questions just to give you a bit of guidance on those as well. What time do we meet? In South Africa, it's 5 p.m. on a Sunday. In America, New York, it's 11. And London, depending on exactly when they are in their time zones, very similar to the South African time zone. We all meet together on the same day on a Sunday for one collective Zoom session. Guys, that then brings me to a close of what I want to discuss in this particular video. I am going to leave you with my personal details. My email address is russellj@ebs.co.za. I will leave you, of course, with our website. All the information is there as well. www.edge, all one word, guys, edgedesignations.com. Please feel free to reach out if I can help you with anything. If you've got any cares, concerns, or questions, with pleasure, I will be available to answer those for you. We're going to close off the session now, guys, this particular video. I'm going to wish everybody much success and, more importantly, much joy as you study your CAIA Level 2 syllabus. And hopefully we will be chatting to you, all of you guys, soon in the near future.